ES Audio.
What's up? I'm John Weeks, and this is the Evening Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, too much space junk and why we need a highway code for space. But first, TikTok has been fined £12.7 million by the UK's digital watchdog for mishandling children's data. The Information Commissioner's Office estimates 1 million under-13s were inappropriately granted access to the platform, with TikTok collecting and using their personal data. The ICO says the fine reflects TikTok's serious impact of failure, which meant child data may have been used to track and profile them and potentially deliver harmful, inappropriate content. TikTok says it disagrees with the ICO's decision and that it invests heavily to help keep under-13s off the platform, using a safety team working around the clock.
Your mission specialist, Christina Hammett-Koch.
NASA has named its 4-person crew for the upcoming Artemis II moon mission, and they include the first woman and first person of colour assigned to a lunar mission. Christina Koch and Victor Glover have been named alongside American astronaut Reid Wiseman and Canadian spaceman Jeremy Hansen. They'll be taking part in the space agency's second phase of the Artemis program, trialling their Orion spacecraft as it travels around the moon and back to Earth. The astronauts will also be testing the spacecraft's life support systems and validate the capabilities and techniques needed for humans to live and work in deep space during their 10-day mission. Meanwhile, a group of major space companies are calling on governments to agree to a highway code for space.
We have begun launching far more things into space than at any time in history. And as a result, we now face the concern that the space that we use every day to support our lives may become polluted by our actions.
Peter Hadinger is Chief Technology Officer at Inmarsat, one of the 27 signatories of the Space Safety Coalition, which has released a landmark publication aimed at tackling the rapidly increasing risk of space junk collisions. The European Space Agency estimates that there are around 36,500 objects in space bigger than 10 centimetres, and a report by Inmarsat revealed that more than 10,000 tons of satellite and rocket objects are currently in Earth's orbit.
One of the problems with debris is that you take one object and you turn it into hundreds or even thousands of objects, which then scatter like shrapnel through the orbits, all moving at 10,000 kilometers an hour or more. And these then become new opportunities for collisions.
The coalition's publication includes guidance on international information sharing, technical best practices for designing future spacecraft, and a rules of the road style guidebook for manoeuvring spacecraft to avoid collisions. Peter told us just how severe collisions with space debris can be.
Clearly, if you have something that's moving many times faster than a bullet, it will immediately tear through the skin of the satellite. If it were to hit something like a propulsion tank or something on the way through, then it could result in the destruction of the spacecraft.
Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit has filed for bankruptcy. The space firm has faced a tough few months following its failed space launch from Cornwall Airport in January. Last week, the company sacked 85% of its workforce, a total of around 700 employees, as a result of what it called its inability to secure meaningful funding. Now, we all know the feeling of booking flights only to find out later that tickets have gone down in price. Well, Google's stepping in to provide a solution to that, paying passengers the difference when that happens, as long as you booked through their flights tool. In a blog post, the tech giant confirmed its new pilot, get it, program will let you know if prices go down and will pay you back the difference via Google Pay. Campaigners are calling for a vaccine to be made to protect red squirrels from a deadly virus. The pox virus, which can kill the reds in around 3 weeks, is carried by grey squirrels who are unaffected by it. Up to 80% of red squirrels were killed by the pox over the winter at one of just 3 sites where they can still be found in Wales. Close to 11,000 people have now signed a petition calling on the Welsh Government to fund research into a vaccine. Coming up, why the UK's saying goodbye to wet wipes and why Twitter's logo has changed to Doge. Why not hit follow and give us a rating during the break? Welcome back. It's time to say goodbye to wet wipes. All those with plastic in them are being banned in England under plans to improve the country's water quality. According to Water UK, which represents the water industry, wet wipes flushed down toilets cause 93% of sewer blockages, including so-called fatbergs, and cost around £100 million a year to clear up. Researchers have suggested antibiotic consumption and antimicrobial resistance, or AMR, is a two-way street between animals and humans. The findings revealed the use of antibiotics in animals like cattle, pigs, and chickens is associated with AMR in humans, and using antibiotics in humans is linked with resistance in animals. Researchers at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine have called AMR a wicked problem, and data suggests resistant bacteria was responsible for 1.27 million deaths in 2019. They've recommended tighter policies and regulations on antibiotic use and prescription among animals and humans. And finally, Elon Musk has changed the Twitter logo to a picture of Doge, the dog that became a meme and is now associated with the crypto Dogecoin. The Twitter boss shared a screenshot of his conversation with someone on the platform, asking him to take over Twitter and change the logo to Doge, with the caption, "As promised." The logo switch has seen a roughly 30% leap in the value of Dogecoin. It's not clear whether it'll become the official new logo or just be a short-term change. You're up to date. Come back at 4 o'clock for the Leader Podcast for our roundtable discussion about the latest episode of Succession. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 1. See you then.